Shalom, shalom! My name is Sophie Lavender and welcome to my channel where we talk a lot about autism and have a lot of fun. And in this week's video we're going to be talking about what not to say to autistic people. Let's begin. And if you want to learn more about autism and mental health and all that jazz, please make sure you have subscribed and tick the notification bell so you're the first to know when the next video is out. And we do this every week. So in this week's video we are going to be talking about what not to say to autistic people. Now let me start by saying that I understand that people have good intentions sometimes when they talk to autistic people. Nobody wants to come across as an idiot or a jerk, but unfortunately due to lack of understanding it can come across quite mean and quite offensive without you possibly even realising it. So this is why this video is so important. I'm going to start off with the number one thing that myself and a lot of autistic people get, and that is, you don't look autistic. You don't look autistic. I know, I don't know where to begin with that because there is no typical look for an autistic person. Autistic people don't look the same. We're not all fabulously ginger, for example. So it is quite offensive to have a view of what all autistic people look like and then have the audacity to tell an autistic person, well, you don't look autistic because you don't look like the probably very offensive image I have in my head of autistic people. And sometimes when people are like, you don't look autistic, that's because I'm masking, Karen. Now I have done a previous video on masking, what it is and why you probably shouldn't do it. The link will be down below if you want to check that out. It gets a bit emotional, not gonna lie. So once you tell somebody like, well yeah, I am autistic, after they've gone, well you don't look autistic, there's another comment that you can get, and it's like, the one that I've had as well is, you're not that autistic though, are you? What the hell is that supposed to mean? What do you mean? You're not that autistic though? But also, why would you say that? Why would you say that to somebody? Oh well, you're not as bad. In other words, you don't fit the offensive stereotype of autistic people I have in my head. So when they say you're not that autistic though, it's because they mean, and it is horrible, they mean you're not low functioning. Now I don't believe in functioning labels. I think it's a load of custard. I think it's a load of rubbish. I don't know why it's a custard. I just think it's a load of BS. Because autism is a beautiful spectrum. It's a magical spectrum. I see it as magical anyway. And it's beautiful and it's amazing. Everybody is different. Everybody with autism is different. So therefore functioning labels, they are not fit for purpose. And I will definitely do a video on functioning labels, so stick around. I might squeeze that in soon. On the flip side, we can also get comments like, oh well you must be a genius then. And I mean, because it's a backhanded compliment, in terms of, you know, anybody can be a genius. You don't have to have an autistic neurotype to be a genius. You become a genius by studying something, and there's like 9 different types of intelligence out there. Don't ask me to do maths. So to turn around and say, oh well you must be a genius, in your mind you think it's a compliment, but it's not. It does come across as, oh if you're not smart then you're not worthy. And that is where the problem is. You can also get comments like, oh well, you're not like my relative or my friend with autism, and to that I go, back to saying autism is a spectrum. And yes, even though I said autism is a spectrum, that doesn't apply to literally everybody on the planet. And we get people saying, oh well, everyone's a little bit autistic. Short answer, no. Not everyone is autistic. Autism is a neurotype. It's a type of way of being, and the best way I can describe it is using the analogy of that we work on a different operating system. If you imagine people as computers, say for example, neurotypical people are a PC that runs on Windows, and autistic people are a PC that works on Linux or Mac OS or whatever other operating system there is nowadays, and there's quite a few. But to say that, oh, everybody's a bit autistic comes across as ill-informed. So to really kind of get your heads around this is you understand that autism is a neurotype, it's a different operating system, it's a different way of being, and it is amazing, and it is different, not less. So the next one is the absolute, well, one of the absolute worst things you could ever say to autistic people and about autistic people, and that is anything to do with vaccines. Girl, I get so heated over this. The idea that vaccines cause autism has never been proven, but there seems to be this thing where people, even though this guy lost his medical license and he was publicly shamed and he was shown up to be an idiot, and then other kind of like tests happened to see, well, is this a thing? And like, no, it's not a thing. Vaccines do not cause autism. They have never caused autism, and I doubt very much that they ever will, because autism is not a disease. It's not a bad thing. You can't inject somebody with autism, and the idea that you can is just ridiculously stupid. So wrong, but it's also so damaging to the autistic community. Like, the fact that there are really some people out there that would rather have a dead child than an autistic one. And yes, that is a very strong thing to say, but it's true. And it's sad that children are being put at risk with things that are actually diseases because some people out there see autism as such a bad thing that they are willing to risk either the life of their child or the life of another child in order to not have autism in their lives. And that is actually very, very scary to think that. It promotes eugenics to think that. But it's also a great loss to the people who have lost children because of that. Another thing us autistic people can get, and quite often thanks to problematic media stereotypes, Sheldon, Rain Man, is anything really about those characters, about the media stereotype. Oh, you must be like Sheldon then. No. The only thing really that, like, I tried watching Big Bang Theory a few years ago, and it is painful to watch. If you ever try watching it without the laugh track, it is, it's like it's a visual paper cut. It's so bad. It's so bad. And like for so many reasons, but I'm not gonna get into that. I would say that the only thing that me and Sheldon have in common is counting the stairs as we go up them. Don't look at media stereotypes for autism, because at the moment there aren't really many good ones. I can't think of a good one off the top of my head. That's how little there are for good stereotypes of autism in the media. And one that I find actually quite upsetting, like this hurts, like this cuts, is that when I tell someone I'm autistic and they give me sympathy, what is with that? And they're like, I'm sorry, oh poor you, or I hope they find a cure one day. Do not go there. We don't believe in eugenics. Eugenics is not supported on this page, nor on any of my social media. So if you support eugenics, get out. Autism is not something that we should be looking for a cure of. Other things that actually cause harm, like I have endometriosis, if they found a cure for that, brilliant, yes, I'll take it. I'll take 12. I'll take a crate. But autism isn't a bad thing. I don't want you to feel sorry for me. There's nothing to feel sorry for. I'm fine the way I am. But I would not be me without my autism. We wouldn't be ourselves. Like I said earlier, it's a neurotype. It's a different operating system. If you uninstalled Linux on your computer and reinstalled Windows, that's not Linux. That's not going to be the same thing. It's not going to happen. It's like when you go switch from a Windows PC to a Mac. We all know how different that is. That is not the same. I wouldn't be me without my autism, and other autistic people wouldn't be them if they weren't autistic. It is a huge part of us and who we are. And it's not bad, so don't feel sorry for me. There is nothing bad going on here. If I am struggling with something, adjust the environment, not the person. We don't need to be cured. We shouldn't be cured. And no, if you actually speak to autistic people on this, no autistic person wants to be cured. So please stop saying that. The big one that I struggle with emotionally, because it upsets me a lot, is the R word. I'm not going to say it, we're not going to say it, but the R word, the R slur, is a big no-no. Don't. It is highly offensive to call really anybody the R word. And you just shouldn't. Just don't do that. Another thing as well you should not say to autistic people is you're being selfish or lazy or rude. And I must admit, I have come across a little bit strong in this video, but we are talking about some sensitive subjects, and you can't really beat around the bush with stuff like that, especially when you're on about the vaccine debate. No, we cut straight to the point with that. Another thing as well is that when people accuse us of being lazy, that's just like a no, don't do that. And when people accuse us of being selfish, especially when we try to be vocal about our needs, it's not selfish for me to have the blinds drawn on in the living room. I have the blinds drawn in the living room because the brightness from the sun literally feels like it's stabbing my eyeballs. You know, we need to look after ourselves as autistic people, and we are not being selfish and rude for simply pointing that out. But what I want to know now is, what offensive things have been said to you? Please let me know in the comments, and please let me know if you have anything to add to this video. If you'd like to follow me online, my username on TikTok, that's a thing that I'm getting into, Instagram and Twitter is all Shalom Lavender. Keeping it real simple here. I like everything to match. And if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a like, a little subscribe, hit the notification bell. We do these videos every week, and we like to bring a little something different to each video as well. So if you're really interested in hearing all the other different topics in regards to autism there is to talk about, please make sure you subscribe so you can be the very first to see. I hope you have enjoyed this week's video, and may the stars bring you joy and the galaxy bring you love. I love you. See you again soon. Bye.